So about once a week, I like to sit down, I grab my notebook. I'm not doing this on my phone or in my head. I like to write down a list. What I'll do is I'll divide the paper in two. I'll make a column for things that I think I could be doing better myself and things that I think my team could be doing better. And oftentimes it's like a new product idea or changing our scaling strategy slightly or like something new that I want to try. And my goal with that is to come up with 5 to 10 ideas per column per week. And if I can come up with like one good change every single month, it's actually made huge strides inside of the business because we come up with 1 to 2 new things every single month and it makes a huge difference. Now, this has been especially important for me while overseeing our huge transition inside our advertising agency to TikTok ads. And that's been really new for us. We spent over $1 million this year alone on TikTok ads. And in this video, I'm going to give you for free just the step-by-step blueprint for what went well, what didn't, how we scaled. I'm going to give you a couple of things that you can use today, literally as soon as today by the end of this video, to go start running TikTok ads into 2022. This is what we're going to do. I would like to 4 to 5x our ad spend next year. I don't think that that's a stretch, spending 4 to 5 million. We already easily spend that over on Facebook. And we're continuing to run that side of things. But we've had a lot less headaches with TikTok. And so in this video, I'm going to give you the full 2022 TikTok ad tutorial for any sort of e-commerce. It could be a Shopify store. It doesn't matter if you're drop shipping, print on demand, whatever. It doesn't matter. All you got to do in this video is make sure to drop a like down below. And if you want to see more live TikTok examples, you can be sure to check out our e-commerce program. It is the only public training we have that anybody can just enroll inside of. It's only a couple $100. I think it's about $200 off right now for the end of the year. We add new stuff in there constantly. And now it's predominantly on TikTok because we're not doing as much new stuff on Facebook. So if you want to check that out, that resource is for you below. That'll build off this video very nicely. But let's jump right into it. So you may be wondering why TikTok. It's pretty simple. I'm not going to break all of it down in this video, but it's a new platform. You get more than what you're paying for right now, and there's less disables and headaches. So let me first start off by taking it back to what we learned in 2021. And that's this year. This is the most important thing, is to look at what actually was learned, what went well and what didn't. And I say the word we because keep in mind, it's not just me running the ads for our clients in our agency. We have over a dozen media buyers that work on different things, different ad accounts. For an example, if a client comes to us doing $30,000 a month in gross sales, which by the way, if you are doing consistent sales on Shopify, you 1000% need to book a free call with us, link down below, purely because we 10x, 20x, 30x businesses. I know it sounds crazy, in literally a month or two. And we don't just do it through the ads. We're adding more profit through upsells, emails, suppliers, merchants. We have all the industry connections. And I say we because it is a team effort and it would not be possible without the team. So this year, like I mentioned, we spent over $1 million on ads. TikTok is, at least for right now, more forgiving with staying optimized through modification. So this is a huge point for any advertisers. If you've spent money, you know this. If you haven't run up any ad accounts and spent a ton of money, listen to this very carefully. When you are making a budget adjustment, for an example, you're spending $50 a day and you want to do more of what's working because that one is bringing you 2 to 3 sales a day. Well, if you make an adjustment from 50 to 100 a day, it's very logical that, it's just going to double the results because the spend is going to double. But unfortunately, that's not how paid ads work on a platform with a pixel. If you do that on Facebook, based on our spreadsheet, we have every single thing documented. I'm going to show you a little bit of those data points behind TikTok here in a moment. But about 60% of the time, the ad is going to perform worse than it was originally. About 20% of the time, it's going to perform the same. And about 20% of the time, it's going to perform better. So in reality, that risk to reward ratio doesn't make sense unless you have a ton of things running and you're okay with potentially losing an ad that was performing well. And while you can relaunch it, it's all about optimization. It's not exactly logical in terms of a platform. It's something where with a budget adjustment on TikTok, up or down, might I add, it usually stays optimized. And I don't have enough data points just off $1 million spent yet to really give you an exact statistic, but a rough ballpark of what I see, over 75% of the time, it does not perform worse. So it's actually very easy to do a much larger increase versus a platform's recommended 10 to 20% bump every 2 to 3 days. So that makes it a lot easier. Cycling creatives. On TikTok, we move through creatives a lot. We're going to talk about that on how they don't exactly stay optimized as well. But continuing to kill something that's not working and then add in a new video, oftentimes on Facebook, that throws off the optimizing, not on TikTok, okay? The second point inside here, the ads and the audiences tend to not stay optimized as long as Facebook. And this is where it becomes a little weird. I didn't foresee this because oftentimes we're running much larger audiences on TikTok than we do on Facebook, but things just seem to stop working. And let me give you an example of that. Rarely, I think I've seen it happen literally once or twice. Rarely does something run for 2 months just fine with nothing, no changes, no anything. Usually you're going to need minor adjustments. So that could be once a week, bumping the budget by 5 to 10%. A minor adjustment can actually help keep your ads in the active or learning phase. We don't avoid the learning phase. A lot of people try to, but as long as things are working well, we like to make small adjustments to keep things optimized. And remember, these platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Google, anything with a pixel, okay? So all these paid ad platforms, they really like it when you continue to spend more money. So you're kind of building goodwill, and they want to help you as well when you're just slightly bumping budgets on the current stuff that's running while you're also launching all sorts of new stuff. So it's made it very, very, I don't want to say the word easy, it's more tedious because you have to be more involved, but we definitely have to make minor adjustments on things. So we learned that, and that was something I didn't exactly foresee coming, but it is what it is. Oh, let me jump back here. Audience sizing is critical on TikTok. On Facebook, I often recommend niching down. Stay in that 500,000 to a couple million category when you're first starting to build data, purely because when you try to go target 100 million on Facebook, it's almost never going to work. Like the statistics there, like 80% of the time, it will not work. You will never get profitable doing that when testing products from scratch. You need like the most banger product, a crazy ad, all this stuff. Whereas on TikTok, that 100 mil audience can work, and it does work frequently, and that's what's really cool. So the bigger the better, even when you're starting from scratch, and that's new. That's different than Facebook. So if you're a Facebook advertiser, take note of that. It is something to consider testing on TikTok. In fact, it works a little bit the opposite. If you have too small of an audience on TikTok, it's actually going to work against you, and it's something that will die out even quicker. You might get 1 to 2 sales, but very rarely are you going to have consistent sales for even a couple weeks. Even though logically a 1 million audience with $30 a day being spent, you're not going to reach through that anytime soon. So while it doesn't make logical sense, again, keep in mind the repeating theme here, these platforms are not logical. All you can do is test, and we test a lot of things. And the final point I want to mention here for what we learned, the value gap is still so large. When I started running Facebook ads 5 years ago, my first ad was a blurry picture that I screenshotted on my Mac, not this one, but a different one that I had, off AliExpress from a supplier photo. So it was already slightly fuzzy. I screenshotted it, put it onto my computer, added some text over it, so it's even like lower quality. I ran a $5 a day ad targeting who knows what, and it worked. That was a value exchange back in the day, 5, 6, 7 years ago, where you could do anything and it would work. So you were getting more value than what you were paying for. That is no longer the case with Facebook. Facebook gets more value than what you pay for. On TikTok, it's a new platform. They're trying to bring in more advertisers and get people to spend more money. So guess what? The value is in your favor. And that is super, super valuable. So I do plan to scale this aggressively in my mind, as you guys may know from inside of our performance dropshipping course, if you're a member inside of there. I really like to scale things fast. There's no sense in waiting unless you're trying to warm up a Facebook ad account. You've seen me bring stores to $70,000 a day in less than 2 weeks, like scaling to a $30 million a year level. That's $35 million a year. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? So the scalability of that, we constantly have ad account issues on Facebook, so that's been annoying, but scaling for me is very fast, and we're learning how to do that better while still staying cost efficient over on Facebook. So for an example, our biggest client is consistently doing about $35,000 to $40,000 a day on TikTok. We're spending about 12. So it's a 3.5 ROAS consistently. You might have seen one of the coaching students, Dylan, I was working with and still am consulting with on a regular basis. He did over Black Friday, 140,000, 100,000, 120,000. He's over 100,000 a day most days now. And when he came to me, he was doing $2,000 a day. That's 100% TikTok ads. So while he's not a client, I'm not running all of his ads. While we're on a call, I'm going through all of his ads, telling him what to do, showing him everything. So he's just kind of launching what I tell him to do, and he's doing his own testing as well based on the strategies that I'm sharing. So the scalability factor is there. I know that we can do it. I definitely look forward to having more clients come into our agency that are already doing sales because we can scale it up pretty quick. So that is what was learned. Now, I want to jump on to specific stuff that you can implement today. I'm sorry if this video is boring. It might not be as crazy edited, or like I'm not in front of a Ferrari. This is stuff like literally just do this do it. Just do this today. Like this makes us so much extra money. It's not that hard, okay? I'm just giving it to you for free. So I hope this video earns a thumbs up or a comment or do something, right? Minimum 2 videos under each ad group. 2 to 4 is ideal. When I'm first testing, I really just aim for 3. It's just a common middle ground. Whether your budget is $20 a day or $200 a day when you're starting, I just throw 3 in there. It's not that difficult. Order a couple, order the product yourself. I actually started for the first time in like 3 years filming videos myself on my phone. I would order the product because it was kind of fun making a TikTok account for the store, and I would make a TikTok in 40 seconds. And while that might not be the best ROAS, when I'm first testing, on my time, while I'm first testing products, I want to be involved, and TikTok's new. So I'm going to be more involved than I have to be to get those results because I want to see every single angle of it. I want to learn that business. So that's in terms of the video ads underneath your ad groups. Keep in mind 9 to 15 seconds for your ads. This is where we get into data point specifics. After spending $1 million, I can tell you these small quirks, these small statistics that other people cannot tell you. I promise you, I've bought every single course in the industry that I could find that looks remotely valuable. I've spent anywhere from $100 doing that to $5,000 on certain trainings. I've done a lot of things. I've talked to a lot of people. I have a lot of friends. Here's statistics for you. Nobody seems to track this, but this is how you get a tactical edge in this business. 11-second and 13-second videos specifically perform the best for us. I say it like that because it performs the best for us. Let me repeat that. It performs the best for us. Maybe not Joe Schmo, maybe not this guy, maybe not my other friend. 11 and 13, not 11 to 13, 11 and 13-second videos perform the best. Why? I have no idea. I don't care, but it works. It works better. And yes, I paid attention to testing those differences. So TikTok, they're going to tell you 9 to 15 seconds for your video. Now, I've tried 8s, I've tried 16s, I've tried the 40-second videos. We've done long format. Here's what I can also tell you upon doing the longer format. Long video durations perform better for retargeting through TikTok. Now, a side note on that, retargeting on TikTok is absolute dog trash in my opinion. The results lack greatly. I don't know what it is about the platform. Honestly, you could get better results, in my opinion, from what we do consistently by running just front-end traffic on TikTok. Yeah, have your basic retargeting. It never performs that well for me. And then do your retargeting on Facebook. Right? Just retarget people over there. And that's an easy way to warm up an ad account if you already had some data. Just low budget retargeting, let it run for a couple weeks. You can kind of warm up your ad account. That's been really well. And, so these are the kinds of videos that you're going to be looping in there. 9 to 15 seconds. You're going to have 2 to 3 of them, maybe 4 if you really wanted to. You're going to be doing some testing. Now, from an audience sizing perspective to dive deeper, 3 million plus when testing. I've found that anything under that, you might get a couple sales. We call those just random sales. You're popping a sale is what I kind of like to say. You're getting a sale because you hit someone in that audience and boom, boom, there's a sale, whatever it means. And that's good, but if it's not getting consistent sales and it can't run for a week or two, getting 1, 2, 3 sales a day, it's never going to really help your pixel and it's not going to optimize well. It's just a waste of space to look at it. So 3 mil plus audience size is what I look for when testing. We're starting anywhere from $20 to $50 budgets per ad group. We're doing about 5, very similar to what we did over on Facebook, basic testing. Now, I've also tried the strategy of starting with $200, $400, and $500 a day ad groups, multiple of those. So I've done the same thing, but just added a 0 onto it. And I noticed it was inefficient. Now, I would find a winner in roughly the same speed because you could turn off the ad quicker when it's spending more, but it still spends a lot more overall. And so it just wasn't one of those things that really made a lot of sense. We're super efficient with TikTok. TikTok's a pretty fast platform. So if you're not seeing a single sale in the first 2.5 days or so when you're at a lower budget, then you would be killing it. If you're running a $300 a day ad set and you're selling a product for $50, you're going to be turning that off about midway through the second day. So if you're at $100 a day, you're only going to spend about $150 before you're turning that off with no sales, assuming your product is $20, $30, $40, right? On the lower end. If you're selling a higher ticket product, that's different. Now, I have no hesitation in launching up to 100 million audiences from scratch. Like I said, it took me months to even consider trying one of those on TikTok. And then it was like, okay, we're making good money. Here's all this profit from a couple stores. One of those stores is my own, a bunch of stuff for clients in our agency. I was like, now let me try like testing stuff that counteracts and goes against my strategies on other platforms. It just never worked. And so that's where the testing really comes into things. And that's where I start trying a lot of new stuff and tracking the results from it. And so 100 million plus audiences, they do just fine. They perform the same. And honestly, they just last longer and you can scale into it more. So number 4, we still scale through duplicates when the first few ad groups are starting to work purely for increasing the budget. So let's say you launch your 5 ad sets, $30 a day each. They're starting to work. You have 2 of them getting sales. You've killed off one of them with no sales. The other one has 4 sales. It's just kind of all over the place. It might not be profitable, but it's close to it. Or maybe it's slightly profitable, whatever. When I want to increase the budget, like I talked about earlier in this video, I don't want to risk losing the ad set just to try and raise the budget from 20 to 50 a day. Because it's just not worth trying to get the extra 1 to 2 sales that budget change would bring, assuming the results even stayed the same. So it's not worth me losing the 1 to 2 ad sets that are actually working well, because then you'd be back to square one. So what I do is I will still duplicate it, and I will just raise the budget on the duplicate. Now, If I have multiple ads, I'm maybe willing to risk one. So, raising it from 20 to 50 directly when only 1 to 2 ad groups are bringing results, you just don't want to risk all of it. So consider maybe if you have 3 of them or more, raise one of them directly just for your own testing to see how it performs, but duplicate it. Raise it from 20 to 100 on a duplicate, do a second duplicate where you go from 20 to 200. TikTok really likes higher budgets, in my opinion, more so than Facebook. Facebook really likes high budget CBOs. That's what I've noticed. TikTok is really, really fine with high budget ad groups. So that's a little bit of a difference. For me, it makes a lot of sense in my head because on TikTok, your ad groups have a huge audience. You don't need to combine multiple ad groups to make a CBO to get that big audience because you already have a big audience on the ad group level. So that's how I think about things. Now, I want to give you the perspective that most people won't share with you. It is what it is. I want to show you a failed test on TikTok from inside of an ad account. It's my own ad account. This is not a client. It's not a student. This is my own money. This was charged to my business Amex card. Okay. Here's a test. You can kind of see the names. I blocked out some of the things just so you don't know the product. But retargeting, relaunch of, blah, blah, blah. So you can see some retargeting ads, all this and that. You can see a general sense of the spend. Spent a little over $2,500, I think, total through it, maybe $3,000. Now, this store was so close to break even. That's why I ran it further. I'm also willing to spend more money myself personally than I would for a client, just because if I can kind of muscle my way through the ads, fight the pixel, get past break even, I know I can muscle it to make it work. That's the best way I can describe it. So as you can see, some of the spend inside of these, most of these were ad group budgets. So a lot of these were running for purchase conversion. Some of them weren't. So for an example, this right here was add to cart. So as you see your 1,000 conversions at 93 cents, I believe that was add to cart. Might not have been. Might have been add to cart. I'd have to double check on this. But most of the stuff was purchase conversion. So 16 purchases, 2 purchases, 139 over here, cost per acquisition. This was definitely an add to cart. So you can see it had some sales. I think this store had 35 sales, 40 sales overall. Now the AOV was really, really good. So this is why I wanted to continue. I gave it a proper test. The AOV was great. The upsell take rate was really great. I just couldn't get it to convert as well as I wanted to. So I moved on. That's what you're going to see. When you're trying to muscle something, it's a really good product, you have really good ads, I'd be willing to muscle it. But if you're really not certain, it's probably not worth blowing through whatever budget you have. And just so you know, you should definitely come into testing with $1,000 budget. I mean, you're going to be spending $100 a day, usually at a minimum. You could probably get away with a little bit less, but why try and scrape it together? Just wait. I normally used to not recommend this. Just wait another month, save up another $1,000. You can go make an extra $1,000 doing pretty much anything. So do what you can do to give yourself a longer runway. Now, I always say this to clients that are joining inside of our agency, and I'm not the one talking to them now. And by the way, if you want to ask about our advertising agency, I think we're at 36 clients out of our total cap of 40. We might adjust that maximum of 40 into 2022. We shall see. However, if you want to, you can book a call down below and ask about that. Talk to our client manager, Dennis. We always recommend to people have some sort of income coming in. This is exactly how I started the business many, many years ago with my first e-com store. I had $2,000 a month coming in. So I only had 5,000 saved, but adding that money, adding the fuel onto the fire, it was able to make it burn longer. And you're just extending that runway for a testing period to try more products. So this is what a failed ad account looks like. This is what we learned in 2021. These are specifics you can do every single day starting right now. I mean, you should be doing this into 2022. And so get started. I mean, screenshot this. This is the same stuff that you're going to learn in most people's courses, coaching, whatever. I always try to go one layer deeper and really show you live examples and inside of multiple ad accounts, just so you can see like a visual learning example. I don't know. To me, it makes more sense. That's how I learn. So I try to teach that way as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hope it earned a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And again, don't forget, I think we have, I'd have to double check, should have checked before this video. It's either 3 or 4 open spaces inside of our advertising agency. That's where we charge a small monthly retainer as well as a percentage of profits based on performance. We don't charge you 10% of ad spend or something ridiculous like a lot of agencies. That just doesn't make sense and has the wrong incentive. Anyways, you can book a free call for that down below. You can also check out our e-commerce program. It's discounted before some of the new content goes in. We added into it about a month ago. So everything in there is fresh, new, and constantly getting updated as things change or as we learn new things. Again, it might sound ridiculous, but inside of here, I mean, we've only spent $1 million. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but to really learn a platform and get all the statistics you need, I mean, it was like I had like $10 million worth of spend to back up my data and my statistics on certain tests over on Facebook. And so it's like it takes time for us to do that. And I definitely update our course as that happens. And so a lot of people, oh, you didn't update anything this month. Yeah, well, there was nothing to really update. I'm not going to make a fluff video. I'm not that kind of guy. So, inside of there, it's really, really good. It's really focused. It's to the point. I never really try to push course pitch it. It doesn't make a lot of money. That money just goes to our team who manages manage that side of things. So it's just one of those things. It's a great resource, kind of an entry level thing that you can use. And then if you want one-on-one coaching, this is more so for people who are already doing a consistent sales volume. Message me over on Instagram. It's the only place you can do it. My team will get back to you on there, kind of run you through the requirements, see if it's a good fit, and go from there. So if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section down below. I hope this video broke this down for you. I just wanted to dump this on you right here, end of the year. Hope you had a great 2021, but this is a 2022 TikTok ad strategy breakdown showing you what was learned with over $1 million in spend, and then what is going to be happening into 2022. This is what's working for us. We're doing the same strategies. Like I said, we're looking to spend $4 to $5 million. I hope we can spend more than that. That's a good thing, right? So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to stick around the channel, subscribe, post a bunch of fun content. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.